is up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, for being subscribed. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit that like button. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this reality chat. Okay, I wanted to talk about this. I finally got a chance to watch this most recent episode of Married to Medicine. And, you know, in light of the news that has been coming out about Quad revealing that after the next two episodes, and now I guess we can say the next episode because the next two episodes were before this most recent one aired, we won't see her any longer on the show, at least this season, because it's possible they could bring her back as a friend of, or something crazy happens where they feel like she needs to be a part of the show. I don't know. But I wanted to talk about this and get your thoughts on it because I just really find it extremely comical. I find it funny that she's just coming across as this victim. And when I watch this in real time, I think back to Mariah. I think about how she treated Mariah. I think about how she portrayed herself to be the victim back several years ago and wanted to ice Mariah out. And how crazy is it that the person who created the show, whose brainchild it was, who came up with the vision and actually saw it come to pass, could be iced out of her own show, her creation. But listen, crazier things have happened, so it's not even a shock to me that it did happen. I didn't think that it was right. But there are several instances that I can think of how Quad treated Mariah several seasons ago, and now to see this happening in real time. But I want to play this clip. This is from when Quad had a birthday party for Dr. G. And she didn't invite Mariah and Aiden, Mariah's husband, even though Aiden was friends with Dr. G, and those two didn't have a problem. And even Dr. G was uncomfortable with the situation. I want to play this clip, and then I want to get into what happened recently.
Man, I know you guys were talking in the barbershop about Aiden and Mariah, so we still hadn't determined if they were invited, huh?
Don't look like it.
I don't know, man. I feel a certain kind of way right now.
That's why I try to make light of it. Because I know. I mean, it's stuff.
I want to pause it right there. So at this moment, the security guard is walking out that Quad hired, and they have subtitles on the screen, so you can't really hear what he's saying. But he walks up to Mariah and Aiden at their cars. They're getting out of the car, and he's like, "Excuse me, ma'am, I was instructed not to let you in." And Aiden has this shocked look on his face, okay?
They don't want to allow us on the premises, apparently.
Is Greg in there?
It's his birthday. No, Aiden. Listen.
Nobody's in this.
No. Listen, I think it's okay. I think it's best we just leave. Aiden just wanted to give him a gift. The thought of Quad having the audacity to send a rent-a-cop to ask us off the property when we were just trying to be nice. Oh, bitch, it's on.
There's been money left to make sure that your transportation's
Oh, that must be the tax she's paying me for riding my coattail.
What Mariah is responding to is the security guard telling them, here's some money she left for you for some gas money for your transportation, for the inconvenience of you driving this way and you can't get in.
I'll take it. Thanks. Little Miss Quad. She lost it. Mariah's outside, honey, and the security done made her get back in her car.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a mess. For the life of me, I don't understand why Mariah will show up.
I wish I could say that I didn't think Quad would go this far, but deep down, I've always known who Quad was.
All right, so you heard that. She says, deep down, I've always known who Quad was. And now we come into real time today and what we see happening with Quad.
Hello. I'm well. How are you?
Quad is here.
Hello.
Oh, hey.
How is everyone?
Good. Oh, you don't have to bring your luggage. I honestly didn't even think you were coming.
Gotta be here, boo.
When we got here, everyone was scrambling because I didn't have a room for you. I asked Phaedra. She was like, absolutely not. Jackie said, no. I was like...
Oh, or, you know, I do have my own money. I can just go to another location.
No, we ended up getting your room. We did.
Yeah, that's
We
good.
got it.
But I'm like, I can go to another location. I can, whatever makes everybody comfortable.
You're not making anybody uncomfortable.
Okay, because I don't really want
You
to do
just
that.
got here.
I know.
I don't know if uncomfortable is the word.
Now, Toya, where is this? Is this in the basement? Did you dig me a hole in the ground and find me a room? Put a bed down, a cot? Not even a king-size bed. What you put down there for me?
You think Toya would do you like that?
This is where the bullshit starts. At the resurrection, everybody else was cool. The only person that wasn't was Toya. So how is it that we all have a problem now?
So, are we done here?
Yeah, we have dinner at 7:30.
I'm gonna get ready to get dressed myself.
Where am I? Where's this room? In the field?
Right outside the door, there's some signs that point you in the direction.
Time to go.
Y'all want to go out to the door?
You putting some on
No, Simone's room is right there.
We're sweet mates.
Bye, Toya.
See you later. Thanks, Simone. We'll go get dressed.
Why continue hanging around?
What hell, I ain't going through nothing.
A group of women you don't feel are safe, you don't feel are supportive.
There was not a safe space for me at times to really open up and tell you guys certain things that I was going through.
So then I have to ask, what has changed? Why continue hanging around that group?
Well, it's a second chance for everybody. If I can clean the slate, then hopefully you guys can clean the slate for me.
This is typical Quad. She's not trying to own anything. She's not trying to even understand where we're coming from. None of that.
Our relationships have been broken. That's just the truth of the matter. So I have retreated, and I have emotionally kind of just refrained for all of you. And that's
Correct.
just the truth of the matter for now. But I want to change that. I want to just be good to y'all, and I want y'all to be good to me. Right now, in this moment, I don't have an emotional attachment. I'm trying to get back there with you all.
Come on, man. Quad, don't do me like this. I'm the first person to tell you that I was Quad's friend. You know, I have love for Quad.
All I want to do is love and be loved. That is what I want.
But if you don't have an emotional attachment, what are we doing? I mean, if you done, be done. My issue is, and it's a really real issue, I still hadn't heard from you after I met with you and Phaedra, right? But then Phaedra tells me that she's not bringing you on the trip. She was very adamant, and she said that she told you she wasn't going to bring you on this trip. Then I hear from you. So it seems like you're using me. You're using that sisterhood and all of that, right? And then when this lady put you down, then you called me, right?
She put me down?
Yes. She said she was definitely not going to bring you on this trip, okay? And I think she even changed her flight so she didn't have to ride with you.
I knew it. I knew it. Why didn't you get on the plane with Quad?
I thought my flight was for later.
So it didn't have anything to do with you and Quad.
No, we're fine. I was not going to keep inviting you to stuff if it was all this energy. So I made that real clear.
First of all, I didn't even know that Phaedra and I was not cool at all. So her telling me that she's not bringing me around him, I don't need you to bring me around Phaedra Parks. Park it, Miss Parks. Let's remember how you got in the group on some real shit.
I think that all of us can agree that you use people. Why you didn't call me at all until she said she wasn't going to bring you on the trip.
Emily.
Then you called me.
No.
My whole thing is, don't use me. I'm a very good friend. I've been very solid with you, and I don't like the fact that you lose me. And even Jackie said, yes, she's using your ass. I had not heard from Quad even after I met her at her house. Are you going to reach out to the girls? Because I think they miss you. I really do.
I miss them too.
I spoke to Phaedra on the phone, and she said that she could no longer support Quad in what she was doing. She went out of her way to help Quad come back in the group, and each time Quad disappointed her.
It didn't go down that way.
Phaedra said it went down that way.
That's what Phaedra said.
Immediately after I got off the phone with Phaedra, Quad calls me. Hey girl, what's the tea? Hadn't heard from her. So what am I to think?
Okay, I need you to own that you said this thing. I want you to say the truth of what you said. You said that this bitch be lying all the time. She's just a mess, a whole mess. That's what you said. She said she never dated Gregory. You told us she dated Gregory. You said that she said she needed some money every month from Gregory.
Gregory told me that. Gregory told me
that's what she told me.
And that's right. And she's right. She's right about that.
Right.
Gregory told me that you all dated and that you guys were doing good at first, and then you asked him for upward of $4,000 a month. And from there, he had to let you go because he didn't want to give you $4,000 a month. But let me say this. Now that's what he said.
Has he ever told you that, Sweet Tea?
Yeah, he said that y'all went on a date.
Yeah.
Y'all wasn't like...
Yeah, we have never had any romantic connection, ever.
Honey, my purse is $10,000, so what am I going to do it for? Just saying.
My point is, you're a user.
Okay. I'm not a user, baby.
Yes, you are.
I
You
have been
absolutely are. You use my friendship. You keep saying we're sisters, and you say
You keep saying we're sisters, and you talk so much crap about me.
Why? Please don't
Like you're talking. Can I finish? You can't keep cutting me off. I want to respond. Not with no bullshit. Your shit.
Your shit.
All right, so listen, what I have to say to all of this is the fact that this is happening is not a surprise to me. But in real time, when we have seen Heavenly and Quad together on Watch What Happens Live, which I did discuss, it is weird because to see her saying that Quad is a user and all these other things, well, why? Even though you can't control who you are a guest with or paired with on Watch What Happens Live, to me, it appeared that they both were ganging up on Sweet Tea. I didn't like that. And a lot of people didn't really care for it either, based on a lot of the commentary that I had seen around it. But I feel that what Heavenly was saying in this scene was real. Because I do not believe that they were, to be honest with you, I don't believe that Quad and Heavenly were ever really friends. Because let's be clear, Heavenly and Mariah had a lot of issues, a lot of blow-ups on the show. And we know Quad was turncoat on Mariah, and she, started despising Mariah. So to me, Quad and Heavenly teaming up and becoming quote unquote friends, in my opinion, was like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. But those types of relationships and quote unquote friendships never really work because they're not even genuine in the first place. And what Heavenly said was not a lie. She is a user, in my opinion. But from what we have seen her display, I feel it's like if you didn't feel like this was a safe space for you and these women, you didn't feel like you could talk to them, you could confide in them, then you are a user because you're just being around them for the sake of the show. And this show is one of the reality shows where people were the most genuine and real. They actually had real genuine connections and relationships. No, not every single person was buddy and friends to the end and, that type of stuff. But I just don't have any type of, I feel sorry for Quad. They were ganging up on her. This wasn't right. Because I've seen some commentary like that too. Everyone has the right to feel however they want, but I just don't agree with that. I don't believe that Quad was the victim. And especially going back to how she treated Mariah on several occasions. Let's not even go into the drug allegation that she just threw on Mariah at the reunion, whatever season that was, right? So no, I can't feel sorry for Quad in this moment in time. I can't. Now, granted, this was a work trip in terms of Married to Medicine, but also a work trip for Toya because this had something to do with her wine affiliation, going to Napa Valley, California. So if she didn't want Quad to come, she should have just been up front, just like she told her to leave the Bachelorette. She should have told Quad, I'm not inviting you. I feel that that's what should have happened. But if that had happened, then we wouldn't have had this confrontational scene where she, meaning Quad, and Heavenly were able to discuss how Heavenly really felt about Quad. So some people felt like, oh, they were ganging up on her, or this wasn't right, and this and that. But this probably would not have happened had she not been there. So I understand for the sake of the scene and for the show, that made sense. But if she really, really, really didn't want her to come, she could have just told her, yeah, Quad, I'm not inviting you. This is business for me. And I don't feel that you're supportive of me. And I just don't feel that your presence is necessary. I want to read someone's comment from Instagram about this scene. And the person said, I'm glad Heavenly said it. Quad is a user. She used Dr. G for status, ghosted the ladies of Married to Medicine because she had another job. And when the show got canceled, she slithered back to the show unmarried. Quad, no woman will want you around their husbands, especially when clearly they are not friends. Bye, Quad. You threw Mariah under the bus, and now you deserve everything that you created. And a lot of people can agree with that. Listen, as much as some people may hate Toya, and I admit I really didn't care for Toya in the beginning myself, but Quad, I just can't get with this. And I'm not one of those people where I'm just like on the side of the person just because it's the person. I try my best to be on the side of right. And no, I don't always get it right. But in this situation, I feel that I definitely am in my feelings about Quad and the fact that she did do and say a lot of dirty things with regards to Mariah, as well as Toya, and just a number of different things that I'm not going to go down the list and name all of them, but to try to circle back in present day and become the victim, I just feel that that speaks to the conceit, the arrogance, and the ego of this woman, because I don't know about you all, but it's just a conviction within me when something happens in my life and I don't feel that it's right. I usually will sit there and think about it for a moment and just wonder and consider, is it something that I may have said or done that could have caused this situation to happen? I do. And I don't think she ever feels like that. I just feel that she's always the victim. And even when you are a legitimate victim in situations in life, people will care for a moment, but then they get tired of hearing about it. And it's a sad thing, but it really is true. Somebody could have experienced something so tragic, traumatic, and devastating. But if you always are talking about that, like all the time, versus talking about what you're doing to overcome it or how you're moving forward, people really get tired of hearing about it. And I'm talking about the most tragic and traumatic of situations. That's why people can move on from situations like school shootings where someone lost their children in a school. Like, just using that as an example. It's a sad thing, but it's like life does move on and people, they just don't want to keep hearing about it. So for Quad to just always be the victim in some of the most superficial of situations and circumstances, I just am not here for it. Now, the Quad squad and the people who are just down for her no matter what and feels like she is the show and she made the show what it is and she's been here, like she said, from its conception, they're not going to see it like that. And that's fine. But I just wanted to talk about this because I was sitting there and I could not muster up a care in the world when it came to her sitting there and just making it like, I just didn't feel that this was a safe space for me to share the things that I was going through. And I just don't have an emotional connection to any of you ladies. Anyone sitting there hearing that themselves, like hearing someone sit in your face, traveling out on a group trip, and they're telling you to your face, yeah, I don't really feel a connection to you, and I don't feel that I'm supported in this arena, in this space, and you haven't even tried. I would look at that person too, like, well, then why are you here? Seriously. And I can't say that Heavenly was genuinely hurt. I'm not going to say that. But I do believe that this enemy of my enemy is now my friend situation when it came to Mariah, because they both had a common nemesis and enemy. That is what they built their alleged friendship on. But that type of stuff, I don't care if it lasts 20 years. It doesn't last forever because it wasn't genuine. You know, you just had this thing that you both were relating to and felt like you had in common, but it wasn't even a good thing because both of your reasonings for not liking that person were completely different anyway. So I'm just not here for Quad being the victim in the situation. And I also don't understand Heavenly, you know, in present time, like she did on Watch What Happens Live a few weeks ago, saying that, you know, Quad is her friend and all this other stuff, but then in other places saying Quad is a user and a gold digger and this and that and the other, then it does make Heavenly look fake, even though some people feel like, oh, she's so real. She just tells it like it is. She says however she feels. But I can't really even say that about her either, because she was, you know, laughing and cheesing up in Sweet Tea's face at the reception, like, oh, girl, you know I love you. When, you know, Sweet Tea was like, oh, I guess you got in, huh? And then later on saying, well, look, I said what I said about the marriage. I meant what I said. So I don't know. Oh, it's crazy. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Guys, thank you so much for being here, for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I just wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.